Starting strong and super popular, Disney Plus burst onto the streaming scene with lots of promise. But what came after was marked by a series of huge challenges that really tested how well it could handle problems. From technical glitches on the very first day to the loss of streaming rights, all of this put together caused a big drop in millions of their subscribers. Now it's in a race against time, trying to win back people's love and meet what the market expects. From every move they make, every show they put out, and every way they talk to their users matters a lot. So in today's video of Capital Crafters, let's talk about the big transformation of a once amazing platform that's now facing the risk of vanishing from the face of the earth. By 2015, Iger had been leading Disney for a decade, and the man had built his reputation around some very valuable intellectual property. This time around, his plan was all about getting Disney more high-quality content. Soon enough, we got to see some very big acquisitions by him. Famous brands such as Star Wars, Marvel, and Pixar were coming under Disney's umbrella, and things were getting real. When you add those to what Disney already had, like ESPN, ABC, and a lot of original Disney content from so many years, it's tough to think of any other company with such a strong collection of valuable properties, right? But it wasn't that simple. Money from people subscribing to ESPN cable packages, which had been a reliable source of income for Disney, was going down. Newer, faster tech companies were putting a lot of pressure on the media industry. And of course, big tech names like Netflix and Amazon were coming into the world of Hollywood. It didn't matter how famous or well-positioned a company was, disruption was a real threat. In a talk about how much money Disney was making in August of 2015, Iger was honest. Fewer people were signing up for ESPN. And why? It was the same reason that was causing problems for the entire media industry. Fewer people were paying for cable TV. This news was like a wake-up call for people who owned Disney stocks, and its value fell through by 9% just the next day. Iger knew that something big had to change if he wanted to make things better. Disney needed a modern way to share its content. It needed its own platform where it could try out new things, make improvements, and promote its stuff all in one place. Most importantly, it needed a way to directly connect with its huge fan base all around the world. Just imagine having around 250,000 employees and a multitude of shareholders who have a stake in the game. Yes, steering Disney towards the world of streaming was almost like turning around a colossal cruise ship. Not exactly the quickest task, we'd say. But wait, this wasn't just a switch to flip. It was a grand transformation that required groundwork laid out and years of dedicated construction. Just like a jigsaw puzzle, the first and perhaps the most crucial piece was technology. Taking an always-on software service and delivering it to devices all around the globe was a whole new world for Disney. This wasn't something you could just buy or get someone else to build. Disney knew they had to create a specialized in-house technology team to get it right. Disney got a hold of a $1 billion minority stake in a company named BAMTech Media. This company spun off from Major League Baseball and had been quietly carving its name as the go-to for building digital streaming services. Starting with tons of high-definition baseball footage, BAMTech moved on to creating early streaming products for big names like ESPN, HBO, and WWE. But Iger had grander visions. He didn't just want Disney to be a customer of BAMTech. He aimed higher. He set his sights on Disney investing another $1.58 billion to grab a controlling stake in the company. There's no doubt that for super-known companies, keeping secrets can be really tough. Think about Disney Plus, a product that needed a lot of careful moves on the chessboard of strategy. But what's different here is that all these moves had to be made in the public eye. Teams had to be reshuffled, important roles had to be filled, and deals with other companies had to be changed. Now, with so many people involved and the time it takes to build a new streaming service from scratch, the risk of someone spilling the beans was really high. If that happened, the focus would shift from making a strong entrance to dealing with the leak. So instead of trying to hide and cross their fingers, Disney did something different. They let the cat out of the bag and told everyone about their new streaming service over 2 years before they planned to launch it. And so, in the earnings call in August of 2017, Iger made the big announcement to the world. Disney Plus was coming. Disney's choice to reveal their Disney Plus ahead of time wasn't just practical, it was a very clever strategy. Think about it. This gave them a chance to use the time wisely, sharing news, updates, and announcements about their new streaming service. And with the excitement and curiosity surrounding it, the media eagerly covered every single detail. In fact, if you start reading news articles about Disney Plus between August 2017 and November 2019, you might not finish in a day. But the key takeaway is this: both the media and the public were hungry for updates, and Disney smartly served up a steady flow of information for over 2 years. The best part about this is that the more news articles appeared, the more people talked about the product. And with each story, Disney reached more and more people. Before we knew it, this turned into a loop, making more people curious and interested, which created even more demand for more news. You couldn't escape it. Disney and its upcoming streaming service were everywhere in the news. Business experts chewed on leadership changes and the Fox deal. Twitter was abuzz with rumors about Star Wars, Marvel, and The Simpsons. Mom groups on Facebook chattered about Frozen 2. Sports analysts took apart what it meant for ESPN. So, even though Disney was already a household name, this move gave them a free 2-year preview in the media spotlight. Before the launch, just like the rest of the world, Disney's big shots also believed everything would go well. Michael Paul, who was in charge of Disney streaming services, thought the team was ready because they had handled big events like Game of Thrones premieres in the past. But this time, things didn't exactly go as planned. People who just joined couldn't log in properly, and even if they got in, streaming was a total mess. Some thought the trouble was because of Amazon or other platforms that carried the app, but Kevin Mayer, head of Disney's direct-to-consumer division, said that wasn't true. He pointed out that the issue came from how they designed the app and not from Amazon. Apparently, even though BAMTech had dealt with lots of people streaming before, they had never seen as many people as Disney Plus had on its first day. Later on, there were more problems. The app had glitches that messed up where a movie would start when people clicked "Continue watching." Mayer said these issues were because of problems with the code, and they planned to fix it by changing the code. They also said they'd be updating the app's software for users very soon. Everybody knows that no streaming service is untouched by the subscription losses that have hit many platforms in the post-COVID era. Disney was aware when entering its fourth quarter earnings call that it would be revealing its first ever decrease in subscriptions. And indeed, the service lost 2.4 million subscribers worldwide, marking the first time since its launch that it experienced a drop in subscriptions. While this news was anticipated, the decline for Disney Plus was larger than what analysts had predicted. This was the first time Bob Iger presented the results since returning to the CEO role, which he resumed late the previous year after Bob Chapek was removed from the position by the board. Investors seemed to find some reassurance. Disney's stock went up in after-hours trading, likely boosted by the news that the company had exceeded earnings expectations. Well, Iger pointed the finger entirely at losses faced by Disney Plus Hotstar, the version of the streaming service for Southeast Asia and India. The previous year, it suffered a major setback when it lost the streaming rights to the Indian Premier League, a massively popular cricket league in India. Following this blow, Disney had lowered growth expectations for Disney Plus Hotstar and prepared investors for a decrease, although the actual drop was a bit more than initially anticipated. Still, Disney Plus displayed ongoing promise in its domestic market. Subscriptions increased by 200,000 in the US and Canada, and other Disney-owned streaming platforms also saw rises of 800,000 and 600,000 subscriptions respectively. Adding to this, there was a recent increase in the subscription price for Disney Plus, starting in the United States and later expanding internationally in early 2023. Another factor that might be contributing to the consecutive quarterly loss in subscribers for Disney Plus is a high churn rate. This occurs when people cancel their subscriptions due to the lack of new content being offered. The return of the flagship series The Mandalorian, with its third season in March, marked the end of a dry period for Star Wars and Marvel content. However, this season turned out to be the least watched and the least well received so far. Unless a highly anticipated series manages to attract subscribers back, it seems that the downward trend might persist in the near future. As of now, there are hopes that the introduction of an ad-supported tier beyond the US could potentially make a positive impact. The launch of Disney Plus Basic in North America in December 2022, priced at $7.99 per month, was seen as a great incentive to attract new subscribers. And with Disney Plus Basic being $3 cheaper than the streamer's lowest priced non-ads tier, Disney is aiming to capture customers who are more budget conscious. If Disney decides to expand the availability of Disney Plus Basic to regions outside of the US, it might encourage people to subscribe for the first time, or to come back if they had previously canceled their subscription. So guys, as we wrap up this episode of Capital Crafters, we can't help but wonder, can it find a way to turn things around and regain its former glory? Or is it truly on the brink of vanishing from our screens forever? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And make sure to smash the like and subscribe button and hit the notification bell for more awesome stories like this. Thanks for watching.